I'm gonna take this opportunity to show you 5 reasons that our trailer helps us to be more productive and some of the cool features in it. So come along with me, I'll show you around. Starting off, we have our table saw, and it's set up in such a way that we can make use of these other cabinets for the space. So if we have some decently long material and we need to make a cut or a rip, we can do it that way. We can also make use of our miter saw. It's actually set up and in the working position. One of the best or most compelling things about the trailer setup is actually the fact that it's modular. So if you look back here, you'll see what's called a French cleat. And so all of these components can be taken off. They're all on wheels. They can be removed from the wall. They can be rolled into a job site. They could be changed. They could be rearranged. All of these things that are hanging on the wall are just on the cleats. And that allows us to sort of figure out what's the best use of this space as we're doing different projects. It's fairly new and it's not done, to be quite honest. There's lots more to come and lots more organization to be done in it. But this has already made us more productive, especially for those of you that do any exterior carpentry. You'll know that the process of setting up a table saw and a miter box and other saws and tools that you might need for the day requires that you drag them out, hook them up to power, and then you have to decide whether you're going to leave them on a job site and tarp them, or you're going to throw them back in your truck or trailer and take them home with you. And this allows us to really cut down on that speed of setup and tear down. And it, of course, is a lot more secure because we can lock all this. One of the other things I want to show you is just some simple ways that we've sort of devised for storing saw blades, circular saws, sandpaper. Again, all of these are designed with that sort of like modular thinking, which is like, you know, maybe we end up doing bulk storage in here. Maybe we'll end up doing, you know, right now we have sharp and dull storage in here, but it can be modified based on what we find we need or use more. We've done the same thing with just some basic sandpaper in here right now. If you come over here and look at these cabinets, there's a center divider that's fixed, and then each one of these is removable and exchangeable. So if we want to, you know, store something skinny like this, we can do that. If we want to, you know, make it as big, so one of these I can fit an air compressor inside of the box. We can also really maximize the utility of these sustainers. We really love these things because you can build them out to fit kind of what you need. Some of you maybe are more into the pack out system, which can be great. The pack out system is certainly durable, but it's very expensive, and I find that it takes up a lot of space for what it fits in it. Whereas like if you look inside of this feller right here, you can see there's not a lot of wasted space in there. We basically just have the tool in there. It's in its space. There's enough room for a charger, a couple of batteries, a couple of things that work with it, but we haven't lost an inch or two of space to protect the tool. So a couple of other features. We mounted this heater this winter just to take the edge off. You know, it's not going to keep it 70 in here, but it's enough to keep glues and things like that from freezing. And then the power. So here's where the power is coming in. If you're like me, you're a carpenter, you're not an electrician, the idea of hiring someone to do a bunch of wiring on a system that may change or that's modular was pretty tough pill for me to swallow, and it's expensive. And so what we did is, I'll take you outside and show you how this plugs in, but we basically just set everything up on extension cords and then got this power bank that powers almost everything in here right now that you see is being charged, and or the power to it is running off of this. This one handily has some lights, has the ability to plug in USBs. That's great, we love that. We also have some cameras in here, and they're running off of Wi-Fi. So that way if somebody, you know, decides to take off with the trailer, or someone tries to do a little B&E, we can catch them in the act. come outside with me, I'll show you where the power's coming in and how that kind of works. So just a really simple, nice, clean plug. All I did was cut through the exterior aluminum and into the interior OSB that's in there that we painted. And all we have to do when we show up to a job site is just run a cord, plug it in, and we have power. We're ready to go. Very simple, sort of do-it-yourself, don't have to be an electrician sort of thing. Other thing I'll point out to you, let me grab an impact driver. Up on top, we have ladder and plank storage, of course. And I believe we got these bad boys from Harbor Freight, which are just an aluminum ratchet strap, right? So you can use these like they're intended, or if you're really in a hurry, so I don't often use it for tightening down a load, but it is really great for putting the straps away quickly. Just one of those little quality of life things. Again, I mentioned earlier our welder welded those brackets up on top. One of the other things that Ryan at Crew Welding, check him out, did for us is put some aluminum tray in here, and he kept it just loose enough so that water will drain, but instead of having the chains and the electronics and all that stuff dangling for the trailer hitch, it has a spot to go. It will fill up with snow, but that's not as big of a deal as filling up with water when you've got electronics in it. So just a little easy little quality of life upgrade. So one of the other really useful things throughout the last few months building this trailer out has been 3D printing, and I've got a buddy who's been helping me with these, but you can see all these battery mounts have been 3D printed so that we can have a couple of different platforms in here and have a place for a battery to go, for it to be charged, to be needing to be charged. And we even are in the process of sort of working on some different sizes for the insides of the sustainers, just to be able to do different size trays and those sorts of things. Yeah, very, very much in process. It's not like a done thing, but love the 3D printing for that. And if you have one or you know somebody, oftentimes you can get it at a more affordable rate than, you know, obviously you can buy these on the internet if you just want to go that route and keep it simple. But if you're messing around with that, this is a great use for it. Obviously we've painted this whole thing white. One of the things that we did early on is we added a little bit of insulation to the ceiling and then added paneling, and that not only, of course, keeps the space a little warmer, or actually radically cooler in the summer, which is great, it also, you know, makes the space a little brighter. I want to point out also that we did just a little bit of storage over here, and a lot of people will build these storage racks with a piece of sheathing on the edge, and so you can't actually see what's in there. And right now, I'm able to sort of sort through and find stuff, smaller pieces and what have you. And we actually just reclaimed some 2x4s that were probably from a historic house. So one of the other things that we did is both the table saw and the miter saw have dust collection. So when we pull the trigger, you can hear the vacuum running, right? And is it 100% dust free? No, but it makes a big difference. Shout out to Shop Nation. They make these, and it is way better than the stock implement. This hose right here is just running over to a Festool dust extractor, and we can obviously disconnect that and take it elsewhere. This station is set up for being able to do a little sanding on top of it. One of the other things I'll show you is just a little PPE or safety. Got a little eye wash station with some water bottles in it, and fire extinguisher. Thank God we haven't had to use either yet. Like to keep it that way. Those are just 4 or 5 things that really make a difference in our workflow. As you can tell, it's not perfect, it's not done, we're in process, right? But sometimes that's the best time to get that feedback, is before you've sort of solidified a system. So if you have some thoughts, if you're in the process of building out a truck or a trailer, we'd love to hear about it. I'd love to see what it is that you're doing. So feel free to jump in the comments and let us know. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention Brian Campbell, or Knot Tree, on Instagram. He's another carpenter here in the Twin Cities. Phenomenal work, does phenomenal stuff. But he built out a box truck for himself. We're using this kind of similar method. We've made some adjustments that are, work a little better for us, but the French cleat and then putting it on wheels and then, you know, being able to bring this into an interior space should the need arise was basically took that from him. So I want to give a big shout out to Brian. But yeah, let us know what you think and what you're working on yourselves.